we got the same country that loves to say that it's not racist, supporting a racist national anthem while degrading the Black national anthem because they said that it is divisive, even though they want to be divided. And let me just also say, they want to be divided is not something I'm just saying loosely. They support legislation that supports redlining. They support legislation that through the voucher system, through the school voucher system, supports segregation by education. They support legislation that undermined affirmative action. They support the efforts of Edward Bloom to now try to take down the Fearless Fund because they are an African American fund for Black women as a precedent to then make it illegal for Black people to help Black people under the banner of Blackness. They want to say that that's discrimination, even though this country was based on discriminating against Black people. And it still does not allow for equality, and it has not corrected the wide chasm of economic disparity that was created by these policies. And like I just said, when you have policies like redlining and gerrymandering, the prison industrial complex still in place, there is no closing of that chasm. And those things may not be in name, but we have seen time and time again in all of the cases that they are specifically related to discrimination of Black people, period. So when we look at these things, we understand that it is not that this country can be divided by a song. The song speaks to the experience of those who are still considered not full citizens in a myriad of ways. The last thing I'll leave you with is this. The 14th Amendment is supposed to grant citizenship to Black people and say that you're supposed to have the right to do everything that a citizen does. But the Constitution doesn't explicitly name what citizenry is. That being said, it has been widely accepted that one of the essential elements of citizenry is being able to vote, which is one of the reasons why the civil rights movement was so specifically about getting the right to vote, because or being able to vote for real without intimidation, etc. Because the idea was that if we can get this passed, the Voting Rights Act, and we can have protections around our right to vote as citizens, then it will dovetail into all these other spaces that we are being kept out of as citizens. And that's how you get the Housing Rights Act, and that's how you get the Civil Rights Act, etc. Well, the Civil Rights Act came before the Voting Rights Act. But that's how you get like the windfall of these other things. And at the end of the day, we have to always remember that this country has always been founded on white power and the possession and the controlling of that. And they're not going to let that go. So we can't simply just act like it's not what it is. We can't. And therefore, when we talk about voting and the value and the necessity of voting, on a basic level, voting is simply just proof of life. We're here, and you're not going to walk over us and pretend like we don't exist, because that is what you want to do. You want Black people to give up and to simply just roll over and play dead and give you the keys to just go over and do whatever you want. And in a nation where one of the most basic exemplifications of citizenry is voting, that is one of the sticking points that they haven't been able to ultimately undermine. They have actually been able to undermine it, but they haven't been able to simply just not pay attention to it anymore. It is a device of the fake democracy that they are continuing to uphold. And we need to try to uphold that even fake version of democracy as long as we can in order to actually get a real version. Because the further that we get from that, the harder it will be to get to there.